look, when you being submissive to someone, you're submitting your ideas and your thoughts, and your leader should be able to echo the same thing you're talking about because you submitted that to them. You see what I'm saying? I'm sorry, look. Not trying to get it X-rated on here. The same fans only, right?
Hey, what's up, y'all? Sid Entertainer. I'm asking y'all to check out the Loveology podcast. This is...
Hello, and welcome to the Loveology Podcast, where we talk about love and life with laughter. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jason.
He's the carefree one.
She's the serious one. And we're married. We have been since 2012, and we like to think of ourselves as a couple of loveologists.
Not because we are the experts, but because we just love love.
We enjoy studying and talking about it, so we thought, let's just start a podcast.
A place where we can share what we have learned about love, relationships, and marriage.
You can share what you've learned, and we can all grow together.
So here we are. Are you ready?
Let's get started. Hey world, what's up? Thank y'all, man. We are back at it again. Another episode of the Loveology Podcast. What's up, baby girl? We are back.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy 2021, man. It's another year. 2020 is behind us, but man, 2021 looking like it's gonna be a little something too.
Yeah, we had an interesting start, right?
Yeah, definitely had an interesting start.
Yeah. For anyone who is listening to us that is not from America, you probably saw it on world news.
Right.
The insertion, the siege on the Capitol.
Yeah.
And all of this other stuff. So, yes.
Yeah, it's a lot going on, man. You know, praying for everybody that's involved, man. Something else. But, hopefully we can move forward, move past this, and head on to 2021 with the new president and basically brighter beginnings.
That's right. Yeah.
So, babe, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. I'm ready for the new year.
Ready?
Old Rona is still, got us in the house.
Yeah.
But, it's all good.
Yeah, it is what it is. We got a chance to get out the house yesterday.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, in LA. What was the temperature yesterday?
Like about 80, 81, 82, something like that.
Yeah. So we ventured off to the beach.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
Yeah, I was doing some stuff outside. Had me sweating a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we had a good time, man. People social distancing out there. And, it's just a good way to get away. You know what I'm saying? And we saw the sunset. Yeah. For the first time in LA. We've been here for 5 years. Haven't seen the sunset in LA. We saw it in Hawaii, but not in LA. So it was pretty cool. Not as magical.
That's not our first time seeing the sunset at the beach in in LA.
Really?
Yeah. But must have not been that magical, like he said. It was more magical. When
was this?
We've totally been there at night. Like the very first time we went to the beach, since we've moved here.
Here?
Yes.
In this house?
Okay. You guys know that I have the better memory, okay?
Hey, it is what it is. You win some, you lose some.
Right. So, but what I'm most excited about is that we're doing the podcast again. We're
yes,
back.
Man. This is awesome, man. We're back.
We missed you guys.
Yes, definitely missed you guys, man.
Yeah.
We're still not going to be able to do the live because we're still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
So the live may be postponed for a little second, but we can still answer your questions. Just email us at loveologypodcast@gmail.com. If you got anything that you want to talk about, hit us up. And also don't forget Patreon. We love you guys. Patreon is a place where people support us financially and it allow us to, be able to do some other things. So we definitely appreciate Patreon. So if you want to be a Patreon, go to patreon.com and type in Loveology Podcast. Second tier, you get a free t-shirt. So there we go.
So yes, I'm excited. Basically, new year, we're jumping back into the podcast. I do want to say a few things about like what we might be doing this year. I want to do an episode about ghosting. A single special episode about ghosting.
I'm thinking like ghosting, like Ghostbusters ghosting.
No.
Look. So it's a slang, for us people that's older. Maybe 35 and up, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Some people call me having an old soul, so maybe 45 and up.
What's this in your beard?
I got a little
this?
something, man. You know, you got a beard now. You know, I got
Okay.
stuff going on.
Yeah, it's too much.
For all my listeners, just listen to the audio. Go to YouTube. You can see our new hairstyles.
Yes.
And we had a whole episode about that in our previous episode. So make sure you check that out. Bing. You did.
Yeah.
So, I thought you was talking about Ghostbusters or something.
Okay.
But ghosting, could you please elaborate on the term for our for our older viewers?
It's when people are dating and one person just like totally like ceases all communication. Just cut. Don't tell them why. Don't tell the person that they were dating why. They just cut all communication. So it's crazy. So, you know, I was depressed. Our previous episode, we talked about the fact that my grandmother passed. And so I was watching this MTV show. It's kind of like an escape. Yeah. I do that sometimes, just watch random shows. And it is, I can't remember what the name of it was. It probably was ghosting or something. But anyway, I was just very intrigued with this. I'm like, really? Is this real? Like, but I have heard of people.
It's from the creators of Catfish?
It seemed like it was. I'm not for sure, but I'm pretty sure because it is totally set up the way that the Catfish show is set up. But they track down. They have like the ghosted and then the ghost. So the person who ghosted the other person, and then they call the person who was ghosted the hunted. So, or is it the other way around?
I don't know. Watch the show.
So anyways, I want to talk about that. We are also going to be talking about, we're going to revisit how to divvy up household responsibilities. More
work for the fellas.
Yes, we had some episodes in the past about this wonderful book that I stumbled across that has changed me and Jason's home life because now he does more housework. But we want to kind of give an update on how like that's been going since were like.
But we had so many changes since then. So.
I know, but that's what we should talk about because like everybody has changes in their life most of the time, right? Like life is changed. So
basically, I'm picking up more cars, but that's what you got to do.
But isn't it work? Isn't it paying off for you?
Yeah, for sure.
In so many ways.
Yes, in a lot of ways. It's definitely paying things off.
So, and then of course we need to, we got to revisit finances like we got to do an episode on finances probably once a quarter. Right. Yeah. Once a quarter. What else do I want us to talk about this year? Like, I'm just super excited, but those are the main ones. The one should be coming up pretty soon is how to navigate life if you are a couple and you have someone that comes to live with you.
Like house guests.
Yeah, we figured this could be something that is happening a lot during this time, and we've definitely, experienced this in our relationship.
Sure.
So it can be, if you don't really know how to handle that situation, that can be kind of a hard situation to deal with. So, we've learned a lot with our experiences with that. And so we just thought we will tell you. But today, don't that sound like a great year?
Shoot,
there's just a few. Of course, we're going to have more.
Shoot, yeah.
But today we are going to pick up where we left off with a book called Love and Respect. We want to finish it up. You want to finish up things and that you start in life. We're trying to do that, right? So we do want to finish this book.
Always complete things that you start.
Yeah.
Don't start it if you're not going to complete it.
Right. So we are going to, this is episode 7. There's 6 parts to this episode that we've already done so far, and this will be 7. So we'll do this episode 7 this week, and then we'll have one more episode on this book.
Okay.
But it's a really good book, and it's just really important information. So
sure.
So we just want to jump back in with that.
Lego.
If you haven't, if you're, it's your first time joining us, then maybe you should go back and look for Love and Respect Part 1 and kind of go, because you may be a little lost, right? But I will give like a brief summary. Okay, so this is a Christian book. We cover Christian books and secular books in this podcast. But I do want to say that for this book because what we're talking about today is more of a Christian principle. And it's about submission, basically. And that could be a hot topic for a lot of people.
Anybody, yeah.
So we're gonna talk about that, but just a brief summary of what we've already talked about. Like I said, check out those episodes if you haven't seen them. But basically, this book is based off a scripture that says each one of you must love his wife as he loves himself, and a wife must respect her husband. So he was talking to men. The apostle was talking to men, saying that men should love their wives and women should respect their husband. So it's basically about the importance of respect for men and love for women. That's, men want to feel respected, women want to feel loved. Not to say that women don't want to feel respected, but we definitely don't want to feel unloved. Like,
right.
And you guys want to feel respected more than you want to feel loved. Right.
Well, by respecting us is love.
Yeah. And that's what some of our female friends have said, that, well, it's the same thing, but the author did ask a woman, so you can respect your boss, but you don't necessarily love them, right? So it is a difference, actually.
Right.
And you can show respect,
But by showing respect is showing us love.
Yes.
That's how I'm looking at it.
Yes.
Like, you love me because you are showing respect.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, we talked about something called the crazy cycle, and that's without love, she reacts in a disrespectful way. Without respect, he reacts in a unloving way. And that just keeps going on and on, right? Like, because I disrespected you, you're gonna be harsh toward me, and because you're harsh toward me, I'm like, he don't deserve my respect. I'm not giving him nothing.
Yeah, that's a bad way to think.
So we don't want to do that.
Stop that crazy cycle.
You have to show unconditional respect is what.
Sure.
And men should show unconditional love. So some of the strategies that Dr. Eggerichs is his name, the author of this book, to get out of that crazy cycle, he gives 2 acronyms. He gave the women, he gives the men couple. For you to try to remember what you should do to show your wife love. And that's closeness, openness, understanding, peacemaking, loyalty, and esteem. Those are the things that men should be doing. Go check out the previous episodes. Okay. So the last episode that we had on love and respect, we talked about, we started with the men. We started talking to the women about what we could do to show our husbands respect and love. And the acronym that he gave for us was CHAIRS. CHAIRS is conquest, hierarchy, authority, insight, relationship, and sexual intimacy. Jason's favorite.
One of my favorites.
So the last episode that we had on love and respect, we talked about conquest. So today we're going to talk about hierarchy and, am I saying the word right? Hierarchy and authority.
Tomato.
Which is basically submission, and then we'll talk about insight as well.
Yeah.
So yes, what do you think about submission, Jason?
Submission, I think we kind of got a misrepresentation of what submission really is. A lot of people kind of think of submission as like giving up and releasing all of your power to this other thing, and they can do whatever they want to do with you. You know what I'm saying? But I don't look at as submission as like that. I kind of look at submission as like, just paying respect, you know what I'm saying? Or just following the leader, you know what I'm saying? Just because, like, I'm a leader, right? You're a leader, right? Everybody's a leader in their own right. I'm looking at this camera. Everybody's a leader, right? So, but sometimes, in order to be a great leader, you have to learn how to be a great follower, right? And in order to be a great follower, you got to allow the leader to lead. You know what I'm saying? So when you doing submission, it's just you just following a leader. That doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to be leading at a different particular point in time. It's just you following a leader at this point. And a lot of times leaders are selected, right? So you put this person in front of you to lead, you know what I'm saying, in this particular situation at this particular time. Now, However, y'all decide to divide those times up, that's up to you guys. That's your relationship. So if you want him to lead 100% of the time, that's what y'all come up with.
Yeah.
But if it's just on certain things where I may lead when it comes to protecting a home, but she may lead on the person that's looking over the finances. I'm allowing this person to lead. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's pretty good, Jason.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah. Because in this book, I feel like he didn't emphasize certain things that I would have liked him to emphasize, such as what you're talking about. It kind of made it seem like in this book, he was basically saying that the man makes the final decision. And sometimes I know he's not saying that you shouldn't discuss it with your wife, but he just didn't, drive the point home that you should be discussing it with your wife.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe if you got like the controlling vote, I guess, you know what I'm saying? You're like the person, like we discuss it and then you kind of like, well, this is, this is just really what I feel like we should do. And, I don't know, Yeah, so for the most part, you and I agree. Like we have discussions, but we'll talk more about it later during this episode. So let's jump right in. I really want to know how to say this word. Hierarchy. Y'all let me know.
Tomato.
It is in this book, he's saying this is to appreciate his desire to protect and provide.
Okay.
All right. Which is Jason is definitely very big on. So he addresses in this book that the reason why, some women have a problem when we hear this word like hierarchy. What you trying to do? You trying to dominate me? I don't want to be dominated.
Right.
And I'll just read from the book because he says it very good, very well. He said, men have used scripture in ignorant, abusive, and even evil ways. They have justified all kinds of terrible treatment of women, all in the name of the Bible says so. But the Bible doesn't say so. It doesn't say that you're supposed to do all of that crazy, that you're just supposed to dominate your wife. Okay. It says something much different from what is claimed by chauvinists. And it even says something much different from what feminists purport. Okay.
Okay.
Basically, another desire God built into the man is to protect and provide for his wife and family, and if necessary, to die for them. So basically, it's like with much power comes much responsibility. That ain't the phrase, but that's
like
if you're given this position of the head, then that means that you have a great responsibility to your family.
Right. And
that means to even die for your family if need be.
Sure.
Jason just told me, when was this? Not last weekend. Last weekend, I believe. Jason just told me. He's like, I would die for you. That's what you said?
I've been told you that.
Yeah, but this is funny because you just brought this up recently.
Yeah.
Ain't that sweet?
I mean, I feel like that's my responsibility. You know what I'm saying? If this is my family, I'm the leader, I'm the protector. Like I would lay my life on the ground to allow you guys to move forward. You know what I'm saying? My seed, like that's the whole point. Mm-hmm. I think any parent hopefully would think that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hopefully we would never ever have to come to a situation.
I'm saying for my kids, but also for you as well, because you're the mother. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna take care of them better than anybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? So let me be the brunt, the force that I'm supposed to be and block for you guys so y'all can keep going on down the road.
That's so sweet. Yeah. I love you too, honey.
Oh yeah, easy. It's easy money.
But I'll be trying to protect you too, so I don't know.
I know. Yes, get out the way. She gonna shoot me in the back of the head. Can't even shoot right. Let me handle the shoot.
Okay, I'll let you handle it. I respect your what is it? I respect your desire to protect and provide. Okay, exactly. So basically, one of the scriptures in the Bible said for husbands to love your wives just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself up for her. So if you loving somebody, like if your husband have this sort of mindset about like, I love my wife and I will, do what it, takes to keep her alive, keep her happy, then you really shouldn't be too concerned about submitting. Or like Jason said, I have the same definition as he has about this being more of like you're following the leader. You're letting your husband take the lead, right?
Who you selected. That's the key thing. Like,
yeah, and see,
you chose this leader.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I don't know if people are thinking about that as they're dating as much, but I was definitely thinking about that because I was like, so I guess we could just skip ahead because basically I can see this kind of being a problem because we're very independent. Women are very independent. And it's like, submit to who? I've been taking care of myself. You're not going to tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about that, right? But with this, if you desire to be a person that, you know, feel like, okay, this is the right way for me to run my marriage is to submit. I was thinking about that when I was single, and I was like, well, if I got to submit to somebody, he better be a darn good leader. It better be somebody that I respect, because otherwise I'm not going to. Like, right. I'm not going to, because I've been taking care of myself and I am independent. So yeah, I better be more careful about who I select, because if that's what I'm supposed to do as a wife, it ain't happening if he's not a good leader. I'm not finna let you lead me off a cliff. Like,
right. Exactly.
So,
and just to throw this out there as well, you know, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe everyone's supposed to get married anyways. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't think it's everybody, you know. So for the people that feel so strongly about submitting to another person, maybe you're not supposed to be with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're supposed to be, you know, the whole solo road. If that's what you want to do, to each his own.
Right. Right. But like I said, it's about how you define it, because, you know, basically the way that we operate is that we have a conversation about something. Jason is a good leader, and a lot of times he has a lot of vision. He looks forward very far in the future, you know.
Sometimes I trip on the present day. Too far in the future.
Yeah, so you know, he never just tells me, oh, this is what we're gonna do. He comes to me and he tell me, babe, I got an idea, and this is really how he is. I got an idea. I think we should do this and this and this and this. You know what I mean? And you know, he breaks it all the way down. And
I take on a journey.
Yeah, but I trust him. So typically he already has thought about all of the different things that, you know, he needs to think about. And sometimes if he hasn't, then I have no.
It's just lightning fast. It's just
yeah.
But even though I still think of it, it's just I do it really very, very quickly.
Yeah. So if I have a concern, I have no problem asking Jason about it. I feel like that you're not going to go with something if I am so opposed to it.
Right. And then that's good for you to question, because it's like, okay, well, maybe you're thinking of something I haven't thought of.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
It also reassures you, if I can answer the question and promptly, that makes you feel a little bit better about the situation.
Yeah. So I don't think that like submission means that you can't question and voice your concerns, but I do feel like that some people have gotten it confused and they think that that's what it means. But it's like you said, you may not have thought about something. I'm a partner in this situation. So what I don't know if I was misinterpreting this book, but what I felt like I was reading in this book is that he was saying that like you know, that the husband can still make the decision to do something even though the wife does not approve of it. And I'm just like, I think it's his job to convince her. And if she does not approve of it, then I can't get down with that.
So check this out. What if, and I don't know, it just popped in my head. It's one of those things, right? Submission to me is kind of like submitting or submission. You know what I'm saying? Like you submitting something
look at
to somebody. You see what I'm saying?
So creative.
So it's like, look, when you being submissive to someone, you're submitting your ideas and your thoughts, and your leader should be able to echo the same thing you're talking about because you submitted that to them. You see what I'm saying? I'm sorry, look. Not trying to get it X-rated on here. The same fans only, right? Look, so it's like, you should be like, if I'm saying something, if I'm leading away, all I'm doing is echoing the same thing that you are submitting to me. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it. That's a good way to break it down.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I was not liking about this book. I'm just like, I don't. I don't really expect Jason just to move forward with something after we've talked about it. And I'm just like, no, I just don't want to do that. I do not,
Right.
And, I'm not a selfish person. So, like, of course, we're all selfish to a certain extent. But
Right.
I'm, and most of the time, I do what Jason want to do. Because, like I said, he has good ideas. So, like, most of the time, I go along with it. Like,
She just don't want to just go down there too fast.
What?
You just don't if I say, okay, we can do this tomorrow because I'm super spontaneous.
Yeah.
You're not going to do nothing tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you want some more time to process this information.
Right. Absolutely.
And I can process it with lightning speed. I see it. Like when somebody's telling you something opposed to you seeing something, it seems like you processing it. You processing more of the information, so therefore you get more of it quicker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you remember a story off of actually watching it on a movie, opposed to somebody telling you the story. So that's what a visionary, they see it. So when you see it, it's just like, oh yeah, this is awesome.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So like a time that now it's been, I was about to say recently, but it's almost been a year. But when the pandemic hit, Jason came home one day and he was like, sometimes he does get a little sideways and he'd be like, say what's going to happen without talking to me. And so he came home and was like, Jordan not going back to preschool. This is before we shut down everything. This was in early March. And I was like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? She's not going back. And I'm like, can we talk about this? Like, what's going on? So basically we had a conversation. I had just,
it was right when the pandemic hit. Like
it was like 2 days before they started shutting everything down.
Yeah, I feel like a week.
No, it was 2 days.
It was a couple of days.
When you came home, it was like a Wednesday or something. And you were like, she's not going back to preschool. And I had just finished seeing the Surgeon General, I believe. Was the Surgeon General on TV saying that everything was fine. We just need to wash our hands. And, we just need to, I forgot what else he said. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm feeling like I'm informed, right? I'm looking at the Surgeon General, right?
Right.
So I'm just like, was it the Surgeon General?
I believe so.
Somebody in the government. No, it wasn't Dr. Fauci.
Yeah, it was a Surgeon General.
It was somebody in the government who I'm supposed to be able to trust to tell me that what is going on, right? So Jason just had his, intuition about this. And so I was like, I don't see any, I was kind of in disagreement because I just watched this man tell me that it was okay. And I was just like, you overreacting or whatever, right? And but Jason, was all upset and all this. We talked about it and he felt very passionately about her not going to school. So again, I recognize Jason's where this intensity is coming from, right? Yeah. This intensity is coming from his desire to protect, right?
Yes.
So I'm like, at the end of the day, this is what he wants. He has a desire and this is his responsibility as the man in the household to protect. So I said, Jason, if you feel so strongly about this, then I will not take her back to school. Because I was like, if we take her out too many days, she's not going to be able to go back, basically, right? If you don't have an excused absence, she's not going to be able to go back. So that's where my hesitation was coming from. But, hey, I'm going to follow your lead on this, Jason. If you feel so passionate about this, I understand what your role is here, and that is to protect us. And you feel like you are protecting her by saying that she cannot go back to preschool and protecting all of us, right? Because we could get sick from her or whatever, right? So I said, okay, we had a conversation about it and I followed your lead on it.
Yeah, it was a great call. Clearly, they started shutting down and all I was doing was,
I told him, I said, you have to understand where I'm coming from. I just saw a government official tell me that it was fine. So like, why are you tripping? You know what I'm saying?
I'm led by the Lord. Get some government official. What the Lord told me.
Yes. So let me go through this because this chapter, and we're going to continue on with the submission thing, but that was like an example of when at first I did not agree with him, but I just said, you know what? I understand. Jason and that was the main thing. Actually, your desire to protect. That's why I just said, you know what? Okay, that's what you want. All right, we can do that, right?
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a good thing.
Spot on. It's good. It's good to knock some right out the ballpark. It's good. That helps.
And so this actually, I'll just skip ahead. So one of the other letters in the acronym of CHAIRS was insight, right? Mm-hmm. So this ties into that. And, you know, again, like we've talked about this before in the podcast, is like, you have to understand that you don't know everything, right? And like, you have to trust your partner you have to listen to their insight. You can't beat them down and, you know, act like they shouldn't speak. You need to listen to them and what they're saying and take it into consideration, because this is like something that in this book he was saying a lot of women will do, and not a lot of women, but some wives will do, is act like what their husband's saying, you know, just doesn't matter, and that he doesn't know what he's talking about. I felt like he was being ridiculous. I really did, because of the information that I had. But come to find out, it's like, no, his insight was the better information, like, and the better call. So sometimes you just have to trust. You just have to, and that's why it's like, you know, just follow the leader sometimes, because it's you know, it's hard. So like I said, this is about vulnerability too, right? Mm-hmm. Of just saying, you know, things are not, I don't have to have it my way. I can actually listen to what he's saying, and he may be providing something that is better. Right. You know, especially in these areas like of protection. I don't know if because men have been kind of trained to think this way, but like sometimes y'all just know like more dangerous, like you can peep out a dangerous thing. Right. I'm reminded of like when I was in the Navy and I was sitting with a whole bunch of people, but I had a male friend that I was sitting with, and we were watching some other guys like playing some, maybe they were playing beer, I don't know, what is it, beer pong? Beer pong. And he was looking and he was like, they look like they doing too much, you know, over there. Like they getting a little rowdy. You know what I mean? Right. And I was like, they fine. They look fine to me. Next thing you know, like 5 minutes later, probably not even 5 minutes later, they were about to like start fighting. Yeah. And I was like, oh, they're fighting. And he got up and went over there and like broke it up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, they hadn't started to fight, but they were getting in each other's faces. And I was like, oh my God, like he totally knew. Right. And I was being naive. I was like, oh, they don't look like, because he was just steady. He kept looking over there like, you know, he peeping it out, right? Like he just kept looking, and he's like, and I was like, what are you looking at? You know? And he said, you know, they look like they getting a little rowdy over there. And to me, they didn't look like they was getting rowdy. They just looked like they was having fun. But I'm telling you, not even 5 minutes later, they was in each other's face, and he had to get up and go break it up. You know? So
you just know. I mean, after you being in certain situations, you just kind of know, and you got that. You just got that sixth sense. You know what I mean? You can feel it. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can see things. It's like, we're gonna shake this spot, baby. Yeah. Let's go somewhere else. Yeah.
Yep. So, you know, it's important, ladies. It's like, you know, sometimes you just don't know it all, you know, even though we think we do. Even though we know a lot, you know. Right. So the other part of this was about you know, his desire to provide. That is a very sensitive, you know, topic. He gave a story about, in this book, the author gave a story about a couple who was giving another couple a tour of their house, and the wife who was receiving the tour, it wasn't her house. She looked at her husband and told him that he needed to get a second job after they finished looking at this other couple's house.
Oh, wow.
That would have,
yeah.
You would have, what would you have done?
If you would have told me that?
You would have been like, excuse you?
I need to quit my job.
Huh?
I need to quit my job.
Quit your job? Why?
Yeah, so I can put more time in some other things to earn more income, because clearly I'm not making enough per hour, so I need to do something else.
So that wouldn't have hurt your feelings for me to basically compare our house to their house and tell you that you need to get another job?
I mean, I'm not looking at, because it's coming from you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you telling me that you need to get a second job, that's just like, shoot, that's just like, I don't know, we need to step our game up. Like, okay, if that's what you feel like, shoot, let's go. Let's figure out a way to do it.
Well, I think that would hurt a lot of people's feelings.
Oh, that's motivating to me.
Like, fellas, y'all let me know.
If y'all, you need to get a second job. I mean, yeah, I can say you get a second job too, but it just seems like to me you have a desire for more. And I know that you can get anything out of life. You can get anything you want. So it's like, by you showing me that desire to want more, I don't look at it as a jab. I look at it as a desire, and I got, okay, that's cool. I'm always have a desire to get more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, whether it's more time or whether it's more money, I prefer the time over the money. But yeah, so it's like, if that's what you want, let's get it.
Well, I just think that we should definitely try I try to uplift Jason in every way. So if I have a concern or if I do want more, I would find a better way to say that besides you need to get a second job. I would say, honey, I would really like to be able to do this and to do that. And, I maybe, I would really like us to have some more money. It's like, I don't know, whichever way.
Let's get it.
So here are some ways that you can make your husband feel like he's you appreciate him protecting and providing. Okay, you verbalize your admiration for him for protecting you and being willing to die for you. You praise his commitment to provide for and protect you and the family. He needs to know that you don't take this for granted. Jason, I always be talking about, I'm protecting this house. It's 24-hour protection around here.
Yeah, when she comes with something off the left field, so I gotta let her know.
You empathize when he reveals his male mindset about position, status, rank, or being one up or one down, particularly at work. You never mock the idea of looking up to him as your protector to prevent him from looking down on you. I don't feel like you look down on me because I look up to you as my protector.
Oh, no.
No way. Look, he's stronger than I am. Like, yes, sir, I do. Yes, you need to go handle that. Like,
right.
I have no problem with that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so I don't feel like you looking down on me.
No.
And I mean stronger physically. Like literally, he can just lift more than I can. Like, I don't.
Yeah. No, don't worry, they on safety. Don't worry.
You are always ready to figuratively light the candles. Oh, that was an example in the book about how this couple just didn't have enough money that month, and the wife lit like a candlelight dinner because she didn't want her husband to know, because she was like in charge of like paying the bills. So she didn't want her husband to know that the lights were off, or maybe like she just wanted him to like. I mean, surely he was going to find out, right? Well, I think that she was the person that physically paid the bills. And so she knew that there wasn't enough money to pay the bill, but she didn't want to bring it up to him. And so she lit candles and like served dinner that way. But then he went to the bathroom to wash his hands, and he was like trying to turn on lights and they weren't on, And so she like started crying and told him, I know you work really hard, but we just didn't have enough money this month. But she didn't want to
let me check them books. What you been spending that money on? What you mean we don't have enough money?
It means that you didn't bring in enough money this month. But because I love you and I don't want to damage you, I'm just gonna...
I need to check the bills.
You quietly and respectfully voice concerns about finances and try to offer solutions on where you might be able to cut spending. So, it's just all about communication, just speaking to a person with respect.
Right.
If we have financial problems, we just need to talk about it, but don't be all disrespectful. Just have a calm conversation about it.
Right.
And talk about where we can cut spending.
Right.
Right. All right, so that's it for that. So on to his desire to serve and to lead. So all of this is the same thing. All of this is playing in together. This is a statement that I would like for you to tell me what you think, Jason. This is why I'm kind of like disagreeing with some of the stuff that he is saying in here. He says, no smoothly running organization can have two heads. To set up a marriage with two equals at the head is to start it up for failure. to set it up for failure. This is one of the big reasons that people are divorcing right and left today. In essence, these marriages do not have anyone who is in charge. Do you consider yourself in charge?
I feel like we are. I feel like we both are in charge.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I think it's depending on how you want to run your relationship, right? But I think in our relationship, I think our demise would be if someone is totally in charge 100% of the time. Whoever is not in charge of the decisions is going to feel left out. You know what I'm saying? If you always in charge, it's like, it's just, I don't know. You're a leader. I'm a leader. So it's like, you got to let leaders lead and leaders follow as well. But I'm just not good at everything.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I'm not good at everything to run a household. I'm just not good at everything. It's some things that's the whole point of a partner. You know what I'm saying? This is my partner. I'm not Batman and Robin. That's not my sidekick. This is my partner. So there's going to be some things that she is better than I am. There's going to be some things that she has more experience in than I do. So if you're going through a life which you don't know what turn to take, if it's the right or the wrong one, you going off of the lead of the Holy Spirit, you going off you get Holy Spirit, communicate with the Holy Spirit as well, right? Sometimes the Holy Spirit may put something in her mind but don't put it in my mind. Prime example, the Virgin Mary. You know what I'm saying? So he put it in her, and luckily, don't get me wrong, the guy spoke to him too, but think about if maybe he not on this game and he didn't receive it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, when we going down this journey of life, if you have more experience in this particular swampland, well, shouldn't it be smart? I should let her lead during the swampland time, and I can lead when it gets to the sand because I'm more experienced in sand.
Yeah.
That's just how I look at it.
Yeah. So that's perfect. That's what I'm thinking too. And I think that, like I said, I could be misinterpreting the book. You could read it for yourself, but it just seems like he's saying that the man is supposed to make the decisions, And like I said, that kind of seems to like play itself out anyways in our relationship.
Right.
But like you said, it just depends on what it is, like, I guess we could just say that you're like better at like earning money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I've had to follow your lead a lot. Even the decision to come to LA, right? We had a discussion about that. I kind of wanted to go to Texas, go to Austin because we would be closer to family. But Jason was like, you trying to be in the film industry. We got to go to LA. Like, you know what I mean?
It's the mecca of the world of film.
And I was thinking that, but it's like, I just really wasn't feeling it like that. But I kind of went with what you said. And I think that was still like the best decision. You were adamant about, we're not going to Austin. We're not going, if we're not going to Dallas, we ain't going nowhere in Texas. And that was it. So like, we're doing this because I wanted to go to a school out in Austin, but I still, looking back on it, I still feel like this was actually the best decision because also
the three choices was for, I know some people think, well, about Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta was on there.
Yeah.
Austin was
Atlanta wasn't on my list.
Right, but in my mind, as far as film, Atlanta is LA, Atlanta, New York, maybe, you know what I'm saying? And use Austin because of documentary, and we know that Austin now was blowing up, but which it still would have been a good choice because we would have bought some property when it went up, so it still would have been a good choice. But I feel like sometimes you gotta lean on the next person to understand what's good or what's best. You know what I'm saying? I think the LA was the best move.
Yeah, I think so. And sometimes a lot of decisions in life is about between what's good and what's best. It's like, you're gonna be okay. We would have been okay, right?
You're gonna be good anyway.
Yeah, but I think that the best decision was for us to come out to LA. So that's kind of what I don't like about this this is, it's kind of just like, no, like sometimes I do need to lead depending on the situation.
Right.
And it should be okay. Like, I like what you said. Good leaders know how to follow when it's time to follow. Like, you can't just be like, I'm the leader and I lead all the time, 100% of the time.
Right.
It's like, no, whoever is stronger in that area. And again, it's about communicating. Like Jason, maybe he's just very convincing and persuasive. I don't know. But normally when we talk through some things, normally, either you gonna see it, I'm gonna see it your way, or you're gonna see it my way. And normally we don't have to just like, I can think of one time where we really was very like, we don't agree on it, and it was something very funny, you guys. It's one of those robots, those little robots that clean, the Roomba. And Jason wanted one, and I was like, Jason, no, I'm not spending $200 on a Roomba.
About
$400. And he was like, this is how we gonna keep the floor clean. And I said, no, it's not, because
it can help us. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't, because just
you gotta have a clean floor to have a robot, because they don't pick up the clothes, they don't pick up the other stuff.
Exactly,
it makes sense.
You gotta have something. You can't have just stuff all over the floor. Check out one of our previous episodes called Organized Organized Home, Happy Life. I think that was the name of it.
Yeah, I gotta find it.
Yeah. And we talked about our journey to Jason being not so messy. Me too. I wasn't the most organized person, but definitely way.
So you're gonna say more messy for me, but then for you're gonna say not as organized.
No, because
Jason, you can't say it like that
because you're messy. You're messy. I'm not as organized.
That's okay. So you got a hoodie over here, you got some shirts and shorts over there. It's because they're not in the proper place. It's unorganized.
No, but I wish I would have took some pictures of it. Now our front room looks totally different because we worked on it and invested some time in it. And Jason has learned some things, and I have learned some things. But I wish we could get Todd on the podcast right now and talk about how messy Jason is. Okay.
Mm-mm.
But he's learned a lot. So anyway, I was just like, no. And Jason, this is one of the moments where, like, okay, just because he's the husband, he gonna go buy the Roomba anyway. I said, no, I don't agree with this. And I say no to Jason rarely. Very often. Yeah. So he wasn't letting it go. He just kept bringing it up. And the more he kept bringing it up, I said, no.
You ain't just pop off and just yell at me. No, you ain't do that now. Just calm down. Relax.
So, so that's why I'm just like, I can't get with this. I can't get with it completely the way he's describing it. So that's why I'm like, I don't understand why they laughed at the woman who said she wanted her husband to be the leader, but she wants him to get her approval before he does certain things. Like, you can't just up and like say we finna move or something like that without me approving. I live in this world too, like in this marriage too. So that's the only thing that I don't agree with. But for the most part, I do feel like Jason is the leader, and he leads the way the majority of the time. And I do like the example about respecting that you want to protect and provide. I do like follow your lead because I understand that desire that you have, and a lot of times you be right about it. Like you got like you said, a sixth sense about something that I don't actually know. Mm-hmm. So go ahead. Sorry.
No. No, I was just thinking of another example of how it could be. We all you like The Rock, right? Mm-hmm. I used to watch wrestling. One of my favorite tag team champions was the Legion of Doom. Right. And it was Hawk and Animal. You know what I'm saying? They was tag teams. Right. Mm-hmm. And so just because I'm on the ropes cheering you on and saying, hey, watch out, baby, this, that, and the third, and you in there wrestling, if you pin that man, we both get the win. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. So it's like, sometimes you got to tag the next person in and let them lead the way. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's a one team, one dream. It's us against the world. It's against the problem. You know what I'm saying? So look at it that way. Don't try to be, a one man band when, you're not. You have a partner.
So can you think of any examples of a time that I led you in a better way?
A better way? I'm about to say in a different way where we wish we shouldn't have went. But
no, in a way that actually works. That you just didn't quite understand at the time.
I mean, come on, baby. There's so many. Like,
we'll give them an example. The men out here who think they can't listen to their wife about nothing.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, just something like just being, like you said, being organized. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, there's a few of them. Like number one, Ashley wanted to spend, I don't know, was it $100 on the little play set?
$150.
Yeah, it was $150. I was like, man, nobody finna spend $150 for no swing, a little regular swing. Don't make the swings like they used to.
It has a trampoline and a slide,
little
for
baby
the kiddos.
trampoline. Mm-hmm. You know, so like I was like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would we spend money? Our yard already little. Like they gonna bump their head against the wall. I stuff, swinging, but. Sure enough, we bought that sucker and it's still being used to this day. And that was what seemed like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was before it was right when Isaiah was born, our son. And the thing is that Jason really started to understand that it was important when he stayed at home with the kids for 3 months.
Yes,
it's
like you can let them go outside and play.
Exactly.
You can breathe a little bit.
So he, he didn't know, but I knew something that he didn't, and he trying to give me a hard time about this. And I'm like, dude, I got a little infant, a newborn. I'm not taking the kids to the park when we got a little yard back here. We can put this little play set back here, okay?
Right.
And this is what we're gonna have to do because I ain't got time to be taking them to the park every day.
Yeah. Yeah, and then also we had like a little walkway. Entryway.
Yeah,
and it was like this little hook thing where you hook up, you put your shirts and your hats and stuff, and you got like a little bench. Some people call it a mud room or something like that. But yeah, it got
drop zone.
Yeah, so it makes the stuff a little bit more organized. So yeah, definitely lead the way on organization. whatever, you hear me?
Yes.
Decorating, buying new furniture, lead the way. Sometimes you gotta let go.
And sometimes I have to lead the way with the kids too.
You gotta lead the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Yeah.
On certain aspects, you know what I'm saying? It's okay. But we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my only bone to pick with this.
There's nothing wrong with submitting sometimes. It's like it's cool to sit in the don't you so you like to drive all the time? You want to drive all the time? Come on now. I know some of my drivers like, man, sometimes you want to get in that passenger seat. You know, is it a little scary? Is it a little scary sometimes? Maybe just close your eyes.
Speaking of, because Jason I guess he was like a little afraid of me driving because he's so used to driving most of the time. And then like one time we were driving from Virginia or something, and he was like actually not tired. I think I drove like eight of the 12 hours. Is that it? How many hours is it?
Nah, from Virginia to like Memphis, maybe 13 or something like that.
Yeah. And when we got there, he was like, I'm actually not so tired. I was like, yeah, see, if you just let me drive some, like, and then driving around town, you don't want me he's not very comfortable in the passenger seat. So I'm just like, fine, go on and drive. But I drive like an old lady, so I don't understand. It's like, somebody told me, they was like, I can go to sleep with you driving because you drive like a little old lady.
Because this car be zooming around you, get you nervous.
That's just because he's a passenger seat driver, right? Like
you messing up my analogy.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
passenger seat driver.
Yeah.
I thought that was like, is that your analogy?
No, I'm saying my analogy of letting the woman lead sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, sorry. Basically, we don't agree with this guy, right? Yeah. We agree with him to a certain extent. And you know what? This is a good point, I guess, because just not all advice is going to work for you and your significant other. And so you have to sometimes take what you need and leave what you don't. And there's a lot of good stuff in this book, but to the extent of for this author to say that husbands make the decisions to the extent of, that he doesn't need his wife's approval. Mm-hmm. I can't. say that.
Say it. Yeah, that's rough.
No.
Right.
So I disagree, Dr. Eggerichs. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just like, as a leader, you want to hear what your people or whoever you're leading, you want to hear their thoughts, their voices, right? You want to hear those things. That's a whole bunch of people. Let's say 100 people. You want to go with the majority vote, right? That's what you really want to do. This is a relationship, not the government. So it's not like an electoral college. It's just me and you. Mm-hmm. So it's like, we should be able to agree on the next move that we do.
Yeah. I think that the only way that this is dangerous, I guess, like as far as what I was saying earlier about some women they don't want to be vulnerable and they don't want to be led. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if you are in that situation where nothing that your husband says, like you just don't, you listen to him, but that's not what you want to do, so you don't do it. It's like, like I said, sometimes maybe it's easier for me to say this because I do allow myself to be led by you, So even though like I may not quite understand what you're saying, I find ways, or sometimes I can see a way where you could be correct, or I just do it because I see you as a leader. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how to really articulate that. Hopefully that makes sense.
Right.
I just trust you. So even though it's not all the way clear to me, and it's not something that I would particularly, do, like I said, the situation with my daughter going to preschool, it's like, that's not something. So if we were just going strictly off whether I approved of that or not, I didn't really approve, but I agreed.
Right.
Because I trust you. And like I said, I respect your position as the protector in this family.
Right.
So that's why I went along with that. So I can't think of any other situations, but sometimes I can see that of like, well, I don't really approve of it, but because I respect him as a leader and I trust that this is going to be okay. I trust that it's going to be okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So what do you think about that? Like,
no, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you don't have all the information I have.
Exactly.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And sometimes intuition is something you just can't look it up. You can't go watch a YouTube video and get intuition. You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess you could, but I got the intuition. I can't pass it along to you. You see what I'm saying? So I got it.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess, I'm just trying to hammer home because I know that a lot of women are very independent and they may have a problem being vulnerable and leaning on somebody else, leaning on you. You know what I mean? Leaning on their husband. And sometimes you do have to do that. Like
that's love. That's what love is all about.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're real quick. Ways to help him know that you appreciate his authority and leadership. Okay. You can tell him you are thankful for his strength and enjoy being able to lean on him at times. You support his self-image as a leader. You never say you're responsible, but we're still equal. So don't make a decision I don't agree with. No, that's X'd out. You praise his good decisions. You are gracious if he makes a bad decision. And that's a hard one. Woof. That's a hard one.
It's okay. We make mistakes.
I'm gracious, right?
Yeah.
When you make a bad decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very gracious.
Well,
but it can be hard sometimes.
You can name a bad decision. It depends on how you look at it, if it's a bad decision or not. Because sometimes just because I don't look at them as losses. I look at them as lessons.
Well,
so it just depends on how you define a bad decision, because it may not be bad.
Listen, I dated somebody who made bad decisions.
Okay.
And it was just bad decisions.
Okay.
So I feel what you're saying. Like no failure is a failure. You just learn. You don't. I get it.
No. But I see what you're saying. I'm just saying. But there's differences. You know what I'm saying? Like parking in a handicapped spot when you're not handicapped is a bad decision. Right. But if you invest in a business and it doesn't work out, that's not necessarily a bad decision. That's just you learned so much during that process through that business not working. I bet you learned some stuff that you see now. Okay, that's why it failed. Or okay, I learned this. Yeah, I didn't make it to this potential, but I got this part down packed. So
Right.
you learn. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel you. I know that's what you're saying, but
Yeah.
I just want to. Some people out here make bad decisions,
Right.
so it's hard sometimes,
Right.
And like I said, for me, that was very important. That was on my list of as a person who makes good decisions.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're not gonna be 100% all the time,
Right.
But for the most part, you gotta have some good decision making.
Yeah, gambling the house deed away.
No,
that's a bad decision. You know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking you. I'm not saying that you are a bad person if you've done it. It's just a bad decision. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Right. So moving on to insight, we talked about this a lot. So I did just want to say one thing that I feel like could be happening a lot. And that is, again, if a wife is not listening to her husband, he begins to shut down. Okay. So if nothing that he says is ever right, and nothing that he does or any of his suggestions are just laughed off or like, you don't know what you're talking about, what you think gonna happen? What would you do if somebody was treating you like that, right? Mm-hmm. Do the golden rule. So, if you feel like your husband is not like, if this is happening, maybe you should like think back to whether or not you have squashed his ideas. Is squash the word? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Whether you have put down his ideas or not listened to him, So that could be what's happening, right?
Right.
Here's some questions that he said that you can ask yourself. Did my husband ever seek to lead in our marriage, but I deferred because I felt it was stupid? Do I send him a message that I do not intend to follow him if he makes a decision contrary to what I believe?
Watch out, man. Don't be coughing over this way.
Sorry. Do I send a message that says, I want you to lead, but only when it bolsters and carries out my desires? Because sometimes, like, as a good leader, you do have to say, no, what you're desiring right now is just not the best thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And, but there's still a conversation needs to be had. Right. Do I want my husband to be responsible? But if he is irresponsible, in my opinion, am I exercising veto power? Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
He's saying that this is like something that you shouldn't do, I think. Yeah, this.
Well, it's just like, I guess exercising veto power without communication. Well, I think that's where you should communicate about it.
Well, yes. And then actually, now that I think about this, I totally let Jason do stuff that I feel like is irresponsible. But I'm just letting you do it because you got to learn your lesson. Jason learns from experience.
Right.
So
give us an example.
Actually, I don't use veto power that much. I do.
Give me an example.
So you can't think of anything? So you don't think I do this?
Let me ram my head in the wall?
Yes. Well, I mean, this is not like a big scenario, but I tried to kind of stop you yesterday. We went to the beach yesterday and I was like, well, maybe we should go today. This next day, because you're not going to remember everything, Jason. So I want to help you prep, basically.
You spoke bad in my life.
So of course we get to the beach and he's like, you know what I forgot? The chairs. I said, yeah, I saw that. I just thought that maybe you didn't want the chairs or something. Because I was like, whatever. I'm just going to let him do what he do. Because he was like, all you got to do is just get in the car. You don't have to do anything. Because I like to be comfortable and I like to, whatever. So he said, you don't have to do anything except for get in the car. I said, okay, Jason, fine. So I'm not going to fight him on this, whatever. I'll make it through. We still end up having a good time, of course, but he forgot several things.
Yeah, that's a speaker.
And I already know this. So this is like not a big deal, right? Like, it's like, this is not like life or death or like our finances getting, all spent away.
We watched a beautiful sunset. So
yeah, we watched it. So it's fine. But that's just like a small example of like, okay, go on, Mr. Guy. Just go and do what you got to do because, whatever. You know what I mean?
It worked out.
Yeah, it worked out. But I could have used veto power and was like, no, I don't want to go. You know what I'm saying?
Party pooper.
That's what he would have called me. So that's why I just let it happen sometimes. If it's not that big of a deal, I just let it happen sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you had a great time.
I did.
Okay.
It was still, it would have been more comfortable if we had chairs.
That's all that matters. Good time.
But we could, when I planned the beach day, we had an umbrella, we had snacks,
We had the umbrella.
food,
We had umbrella.
we had chairs,
we had food,
we had water,
we
was able to sit out there for hours and
the
just
sun went
chill
down.
and listen to music and talk. And the kids had,
with the sun went, we had everything you just spoke,
bathing suits,
except chairs. We weren't going in the water. Why you need a bathing suit? We're going.
It was just a quick in and out. So yes,
only thing I missed was chairs. Out of all that list of stuff she named,
no, you forgot the speaker, and we turned back around to get that.
But I remembered that.
Yeah,
I remembered that. So they don't count.
I can't think of a big situation, but there's definitely been a big situation before. What?
No, I'm just curious.
Well, Jason has a lot of hustling, things that he does that I'm just like,
I made money off of it.
Yeah, not as much money as it. It wasn't worth the trouble. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't worth the trouble. So there's been times like that for sure.
Yeah,
Mr. Hustler over here. Yeah. So yes. So so I'll just read off a few things. Ways to let your husband know that you value his insight and counsel. You tell him up front, you just need his ear. Don't complain to him later that he always tries to fix you. So this is, I skipped over this in the book, but basically just like this understanding that like, just understand that men want to fix it. If you complain to them, they're going to want to fix it. So he's saying, let him know up front, which Jason and I do. He'll stop me and say, babe, do you want a solution or do you just want to vent? And I tell him, and he's like, okay. You just want to vent. Okay.
Yeah, so turn off that part of my brain. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to fix it.
Yeah. No. But don't get so mad. Like, women get so upset. Like, I just want you to listen, But
we're trying to help you.
Yes.
That's
so
all. We're just trying to help you.
Yeah, they just want to problem solve. Like they like that.
That's what we do.
So just have the conversations, tell them up front, listen, I just really need to vent right now. I know I love you. Thank you for wanting to fix things. It's so wonderful. You do fix things for me a lot of times, but right now I just need you to listen. Thank you. Okay. And Jason does very well at that. Mm-hmm. When I tell him that that's what I want. Right. Oh, yeah. You thank him for his advice without acting insulted or like he doesn't care about your feelings. I can't read today for some reason. So I like Jason's advice. Like, I mean, so this kind of just goes back to like what, like when you picking somebody, I guess. Or maybe you just need to work on yourself and be able to receive advice from somebody. Mm-hmm. Because maybe you did pick a good husband, but you got a problem with taking advice from him. You know what I mean? But yes, I was also like, it's easy for me to listen to Jason because like I said, I respect his opinion and I think he gives good advice. Sometimes it's whack, but
never.
For the most part, like I ask Jason all the time, I probably get on his nerves. I always ask, what you think? So, I value your opinion, honey, and I like your advice.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate it.
Like I said, most of the time I ask.
Likewise.
No, I was wondering, like, geez. You realize your vulnerabilities, especially among males, and value his protection. Again, I think actually my male friend actually taught me this with that situation, right? Mm-hmm. Because that was my first time we were among more males. I was in the Navy. So we were, and I'm pretty sure he was being very, alert because I'm a woman and I'm in this area with these men. You know what I mean? Right. So that's probably why he was paying closer attention.
Right.
And understand that they are men and they know men. Okay. So like if they saying something about like a guy, maybe you want to listen to him. Really. Right. I trust your opinion when it comes to men. If you feel like this is not a safe space for me, I am not okay. I'm gonna listen to him. Like, right. It just is what it is. It's like, you recognize his problem solving approach as his male brand of empathy. Like, yeah, you're trying to help us when y'all are problem solving, right? It's empathizing. You guys want to help. Right. Mm-hmm. You counsel him respectfully when you differ with his ideas. You can be right, but wrong at the top of your voice. Again, nobody's saying that you cannot correct your husband or counsel your husband. You just got to know how to do it, ladies.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to be, catch more flies with honey, let's get that sweet voice on, you know. So, just do it nicely. You sometimes let him fix things and applaud his solutions. I let Jason fix things all the time. Like, I have no problem.
She already know my motto. If I can't fix it, then it ain't broke.
Oh God, yeah, you're right. You let him know that you believe God has made us male and female for a purpose and that we need each other. Our differences are, we complement each other.
The yin and the yang.
Yes. You admit that you can sin and thank him for his perception and godly counsel. So that part is coming from the fact that he's saying that some women just act like they never do anything wrong. Like, they just got it. They're the wisest. They are the best at making decisions. There's nothing that you can really do for me. I don't even know why I'm married. Like, right. Right. So I don't know why they're married, actually, if they feel like that their husband can't do anything for them. Right. So, just understand that nobody's perfect and we don't always have it right. So your husband may have some good insights. And that's it.
That's all. It was a good time. It's a great episode being back. We're coming back stronger than ever. We're hitting you with another one next week.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna wrap up this series. Yep. Next week will be the last one.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about relationship and sexual intimacy. Mm-hmm. Jason's favorite.
And don't forget, guys, if y'all been wondering, Marriage is Lit. Y'all already know y'all can go to king-gene.com to go check you out some Marriage is Lit shirt. He also has some crown shirts and some Queen Jean shirts as well. So go check that out, king-gene.com. Marriage is Lit. You think marriage is lit about it?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. What's lit about it?
Everything. You're my companion. I love you.
All right. Sound good. Love you too. All right.
What's lit about it for you?
Man, everything, especially combining this money. You hear me? We get to combine this money together and yeah, so it's all love. But yeah, appreciate it, babe. Another episode down in the books. Thank y'all. Nigeria, thank you. We see we on the charts with you guys.
Switzerland.
Thank you, Switzerland. Mm-hmm. So we thank everybody for tuning in. If you felt like this was awesome, or you picked up something from it, share it with somebody. Don't keep it all to yourself, and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Man, we appreciate all the love. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Until next time. Peace out.
Bye.